In 2013-14, Florida began using the value-added model to assess teacher effectiveness. Teachers in certain grade levels and subject areas received a VAM score based on how well their students performed on state exams. Using VAM scores, the Florida Department of Education classifies teachers as highly effective, needs improvement, or unsatisfactory. Teachers must be rated as highly effective or effective to teach a state-tested subject area or grade level at schools with a grade below C. Over the years, VAM scores have not been released to school districts until after the first day of school. This requires staff to be reassigned during the pivotal first few weeks of the school year. Polk County Public Schools is lobbying state lawmakers to require that the Florida Department of Education provide school districts with VAM scores by July 31st annually. Meeting this deadline will minimize disruptions to schools, teachers, and most importantly, our students. Planning for a new school year begins months before students arrive on campus. When VAM scores are received, months of work are undone. Schedules must be rebuilt, teachers assigned, substitutes must be used to fill the gaps during the transition. Ultimately, it's the students who are most impacted.
So then as we go through all of that, it just puts the whole year where you had everything ready to go, it's not there anymore. And so now we're having to backtrack, we're having to move, we're having to scramble, and the year's kind of almost like a circus.
In 2017, Kuvonda Birdsong became principal of Garner Elementary. The school had received 2 consecutive F grades and needed to raise its grade to avoid closure or takeover by a charter operator. Shortly after the school year began, Mrs. Birdsong learned that 2 teachers were being moved to other schools because of their VAM scores. Mrs. Birdsong estimates that it took a full 9 weeks for the teachers to be moved, new teachers to be placed, and for the students to adjust.
Especially for an elementary child, that is huge because that is a fourth of their learning, and it is the very beginning where we set the foundation for their learning. So that's really very difficult for the younger child.
Testing. Testing. Test.
Have that adjusted or changed 3 weeks after the foundation had been set. The teachers were on board with my plan, and the kids were on board to have that change. That really is detrimental to everyone that's involved. It really is.
Shortly after the start of the 2017-18 school year, Bartow Middle School Principal Chris Roberts learned several of his staff members were being reassigned based on VAM.
It was a difficult challenge. It wiped out 5 of my 9 math teachers and 1 of my ELA teachers. And to have to, at that moment, replace those math teachers. You already have a shortage of math teachers in the secondary level. It changed the whole dynamics of the school, of what we had to do, what we had worked for all summer long in building our classrooms with our ESE inclusion teachers that support our regular ed teachers during the course of the day. When those teachers are gone, we're having to make adjustments on the fly because we can't stop instruction until we get somebody in place.
To fill the gaps, Principal Roberts had to shuffle math-certified personnel who were teaching other subjects into the math vacancies. This created holes in other areas.
It was tough to stomach. It was tough to deal with. You in essence have to go and rebuild some schedules. The teachers that you're supposed to get a replacement teacher. That did not happen, so I'm having to pull teachers that were not teaching math in this instance, that were certified math. We have to put them into that subject now to kind of stop the bleeding, so to speak, because at the end of the day, we're about students. We're about making sure students learn.
In 2018, Cherith Gaines was removed from her 4th grade teaching assignment and placed in 2nd grade because of her VAM score. The change came just 2 days before the school year was set to begin. She had already met her students and parents at orientation and had not taught 2nd grade in 7 years.
I was completely devastated. I I cried a lot, mainly because I felt responsible for what was happening, even though I wasn't the only one that, you know, was teaching that year, but I felt very responsible because I knew that they weren't only moving me, but they had to move other teachers because they had to move me.
Cherith volunteered to spend the 2 days she had before school started, Saturday and Sunday, taking down everything in her classroom and starting over. The situation caused her to consider changing careers.
There was a point after this happened where I contemplated leaving teaching altogether, because it was demoralizing. It made me feel like I was not an effective teacher. But had I have been given notice, had I have been given time to deal with those emotions, and given time to prepare for what was going to happen, then it would have made a huge difference. There wouldn't have been as many tears. It wouldn't have been as difficult. But 2 days, it's just not enough time.
When teachers are moved based on VAM close to or after the start of the school year, it's ultimately the students who are most affected. In 2017, 9th grade student Madison Hart spoke to the Polk County School Board about the issue.
I've had one of the teachers that's being misplaced, and she's a very, very good teacher. Like, I did not like middle school. If I could go back just to be in her class, I would, because she was such a good teacher. And it just really upsets me that good teachers are getting put in places, and it's hurting the administration and the students.
Years later, Madison can still recall the shock of learning her teacher was moved after the start of the school year because of VAM. She hopes this is something future students never have to experience.
I think I would just say that it would be very important for them to get the scores earlier, so, you know, that the school and the teachers have time to get everything together before they know if they have to move or not. Because if you just up and tell a teacher halfway through the school year, oh, you're moving to another school, that affects a lot of things. It not only affects the teacher's plans, but it affects kids' education as well.
State Representative Melanie Bell has sponsored HB 793, which would require the Florida Department of Education to provide school districts with VAM scores by July 31st annually. This bill would benefit school administrators, teachers, and most importantly, students.
Thank you, Melanie Bell, for presenting this bill to help not only principals and teachers, but the students as well.
To learn more about Polk County Public Schools' legislative priorities and how you can help support our legislative agenda, visit polkschoolsfl.com/legislative.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call the February 23rd, 2021 regular school board meeting to order. Now I would like to ask Mr. William Allen to give our invocation today. I would like to ask everyone to please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Lord, we ask for your direction, your wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. May that be revealed through the uniqueness of each person in this place. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group with the purpose of serving our students and families wholeheartedly. Fill us with your grace, Lord, and as we make these decisions, that will have this lasting impact on future generations. Continue to remind us that all that we do here today and all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, your glory, and the service of those around us. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Allen. And now I'd like to ask Miss Lisa Miller if you would be so kind and lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. And thank you, Ms. Miller. The first item on our agenda today is to accept the agenda. Mrs. Byrd, are there any revisions to our agenda as printed?
Yes, there are. Item 37, Superintendent Search Update, add attachment. Item 48, Attorney's Report, requests authority to advertise a public hearing for Bella Sita, add item. That concludes the revisions for today.
Thank you, Mrs. Byrd. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept the agenda for February 23rd, 2021 with the noted revisions. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. The next item today is our special recognitions. Mrs. Byrd, would you please lead us through our special recognitions today?
My pleasure. First, I would like to ask School Board Member Sarah Beth Reynolds to step down for special recognitions. At this time, Jeanette Crowley, Senior Coordinator, Strategic Partnerships, please come forward for business partners who sponsored the PCPS 2020 Focused on Excellence Employee Appreciation Campaign.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Hello?
No, Kevin. Just talk.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Thank you so much. The 2020 Focus on Excellence campaign was aimed at helping to improve culture at Polk County Public Schools. We are a big, complicated, fast-moving system, and it's easy to forget that we need to stop and take the time simply to tell our employees that we appreciate the work they do. Putting students first also means building up our people, thanking them and celebrating the work that they do so they can feel ready to get up and put students first the next day. At the end of the 2019 year, the Public Relations and Strategic Partnerships staff planned the 2020 Focus on Excellence campaign to ensure throughout the year we would focus on every employee group within the organization. For example, in February of last year, we focused on transportation. In June, we focused on custodial, maintenance, and warehouse personnel. In September, we focused on ESE and our center school personnel. And in December, we focused on secretaries and clerical personnel. In May, we conducted a special coronavirus edition to thank the many employees involved with the district's transition to remote learning, including our teachers, custodial, transportation, school nutrition, and IT personnel. Thanks to the support of our generous sponsors, we were able to conduct monthly prize giveaways. Some of the items that you have in front of you are some of the giveaways that we gave away during the year in the campaign. They included the gift baskets, our Polk County Public Schools merchandise, and gift cards. In the spring, we were able to deliver pandemic care packages to employees' homes. In addition to tangible gifts, our staff was also able to give away employees the gift of telling their stories. We conducted on-site interviews with employees, created videos, and posted content to social media. Employees who rarely, if ever, received any public recognition got a few moments in the spotlight. Here's what some of our employees that were highlighted in the campaign had to say. And this just really touches my heart, so I just know how meaningful the program was to everyone. They said, "It made me feel good to be acknowledged because many times I feel I get lost in the crowd. You will never know how much this means to me. I actually started to cry. I was so happy," which is true because that was from Amy Peterson, who's a paraeducator at Doris A. Sanders Learning Center, and she called me to tell me that, and it just made my day. Another one said, "I wanted to say thank you to all that were involved with this project. It is appreciated. Please pass along my thanks." And another employee said, "Thank you for making the delivery special and personal. Thanks to Polk County Public Schools for showing appreciation to their employees and the sponsors for donating items to make the prize bag thoughtful with the treats." Public Relations recently conducted a survey of employees who were touched by this campaign, and the responses were overwhelmingly positive. Employees are hungry, even for the smallest thanks and appreciation. Public Relations will be transitioning the 2020 campaign into a standing employee recognition program. A nomination form and selection committee is being created. Employees selected to be honored through this program will be recognized at school board meetings, will be featured in stories posted to the website and social media, and will receive gifts of thanks from our generous sponsors. It is our hope that this program will inspire others within our organization to stop and simply say thank you for a job they're doing. We all need to hear it, and when we do, we're better equipped to give our very, very best back to our students. At this time, I'd like to share a 2020 campaign highlight video with each of you.
It is through the hard work of our employees that we are able to put students first. This year, I'm excited to celebrate the critical work our employees do day in and day out. Whatever you do here at Polk County Public Schools, your work supports student success.
Who's the lucky winner?
Stanley Hover,
Melissa Millett Wells,
Amanda Parent,
Joy
Lisa
Patrick,
Martin,
Albert
Rolando Hernandez Ovalle,
Patrice Jones.
And it's always an honor to appreciate our employees. They do a great job, and it's just nice that we've come together to do that.
I'm right here in our warehouse.
Yes, with Alicio Dorado.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Being a custodian, I take pride in what I do. So to me, make sure that everything's good for the next day for the students and the administrator is important to me.
All of them need just somebody in their ear, just to speak positive over them, to let them understand that yes, it is possible.
I really speak joy and love and hope into their lives. So I always tell them that they're going to have a great day.
Our second winner, Teresa Williams, who's a 5th grade teacher at Alta Vista Elementary.
I said, am I being punked or what? So I heard my name. I was like the second person listed, and I was so excited because, at that time I was feeling like I never win anything. Polk County isn't going to give me anything.
the tremendous work, the expertise, the hard work, and the dedication of our employees is mission critical to making sure that we live by our motto, which is to put students first. And that doesn't happen without our great employees. And it's a team effort. Every employee throughout our district makes a difference for our children.
We love our schools. We love our kids. We have the opportunity, to be on campus a lot of times with them. And this was just a great opportunity to also reach past those kids to the ones who are just doing things every day to bless them as well.
My daughter is a new employee of Polk County School Board. She is a middle school music teacher, her first year. And my 3 other kids still go to public school.
Awesome.
So we really care a lot about Polk County School Board and employees.
The work that you're doing, not only to teach our kids, but during this time, feeding those in need, it's incredible. The need is there, and we're very thankful to have you with us to help address it.
I'm not normally the one that's chosen for anything, and it was just such a blessing, and it really encouraged me, and it just made my day. And I just hope that you do continue this program, because it's nice to feel appreciated, because sometimes we can feel like we get lost in the shuffle.
Having the opportunity to work on this project has been really meaningful to me. I'm truly grateful we were able to share stories of our employees and the vital role they play every day, just bringing joy to their day. I'd like to say thank you to all the public relations and strategic partnerships team members who joined together to make this campaign successful. The teamwork that it took to accomplish this was huge. Also contributing to the success was teaming up with our assessment, accountability, and evaluation department, specifically David Bustos and Andre Powder. David is also here with us. And lastly, this initiative would not have been possible without our generous business partners who came alongside us. With us tonight, we have our top-level 2020 Focus on Excellence sponsors. When I call your business name, please come forward. First, we have Abercrombie, PA. We have Chick-fil-A. We have Fitnich Running and Fitness. Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. Image Depot Express. Lakeland Magic. Logo Out Loud. And Publix Supermarkets, Inc. If you could all please come forward. You all are welcome to say a few words if you'd like to say something. You don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Good evening. My name is Jay Abercrombie with Abercrombie, PA. I just want to thank the school board, the superintendent, Marissa Green, for allowing us to partner with Polk County School Board. I'll just be honest with you, I'm a little biased. My wife works in education, so I know how hard everyone works in the machine to make learning for the students a daily task. So I'm a little bit biased, but I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be a partner, and we couldn't have done it without you. Thanks.
Go ahead.
Ryan, would you like to say something?
Hi, I'm Ryan Delavaneri. I'm with IDX, Image Depot. And I just want to say thank you for y'all creating this construct to allow us to give into the PCPS champions that are on the front lines, getting our kids trained up right. I'm a product of the PCPS school system. I'm the father of 3 going on 4, and they're all going to be products of the school system too. And all of my employees here in Polk County have got kids in it, and we really want to see this thing be the crown jewel that we know it is, and we can be. And we've done a lot of work, but we got a lot more work to do, and we're dependent on each and every one of you all to help us take that challenge to the classroom. So thank you all very much.
My name is Renee Tirada with Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. Kind of same thing. My daughter is a middle school music teacher here in Polk County. Last year was her first year. It was a trying year, but she's real appreciative, and I have a special kindness in my heart for everything you guys are doing. I appreciate all the hard work. It's been a long, trying year, and things are going to get better, and thank you again for everything. Thanks for letting us be a part of it. Appreciate it.
My name's Hans Steimer, president of the Lakeland Magic, and just want to thank everybody on the school board and all the hard work that Jackie, Jeanette, everybody's done. We love being a part of it. We love supporting to have a fun, cool, safe place for students and teachers to all work and be part, and plan on being part of that for a long time. So thank you.
I'm Liz Kapoyer with Logo Out Loud, and it's an honor to be a part of a program that is honoring people at every level. I know keeping those kids in school and healthy and safe is quite the task, so thank you for involving me in this program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian West. I'm with Public Supermarkets. We are incredibly thankful for the work of everyone with Polk County Schools and the board. We love Jackie. We hate that she's leaving. We're going to miss her a lot. Whoever fills her shoes has some huge shoes to fill. But we're thankful for being a part of this program. We know that it means a lot to those teachers out there that it's been a tough year, a very tough year for everyone who is working on the front lines to help our community. And we will be a part of the program next year and moving forward, and we hope that others will get involved as well. So thank you.
My name is Rich Wills, and I brought two of my clan along with me, Daniel and Mila Wills. I own Fit Niche. We're the local running and walking store, and I too have a special place in my heart for teachers, as almost everyone in my family except for me is either a preacher or a teacher, and I did teach at Lakeland High School for 5 years too, so special place in my heart for all the work that goes into this entire school system. And I know intimately, as most of us do, what it takes to keep up with little people. Okay, thank you.
Hi.
We appreciate being a part of this.
I love it.
Don't be shy. You all have to get a group. Wait, where are two little ones?
Where'd they go?
You and Daniel. I need you for a picture.
You guys don't like being in pictures?
This way. Right here. You're short guy in the front.
You guys get in the front. There you are.
Oh, Mila, where's your mask? Put it in.
Oh my God.
More. 1, 2, 3, big smiles. You can tell.
Thank you all for answering the call of honoring our employees, some of our most valuable and our frontline workers. Can we give them another round of applause? Next, I would like to ask Tammy Ferens, principal of Cumbie Academy of Design and Engineering, to please come forward for the NFL Kid Correspondent Recognition.
Good afternoon. Several years ago, Code Academy implemented the Fuel Up to Play 60 program to promote the school health and wellness across campus. Amaya Brannon is our schools and the state of Florida's Fuel Up to Play 60 ambassador and enjoys motivating students to live healthy and active lifestyles. Amaya entered the NFL Play 60 Super Bowl contest and became one of 8 finalists from around the nation. She was surprised to learn she was chosen on the Good Morning America show to be the Super Bowl Kid Correspondent. Let's take a look at how Amaya represented Code Academy and the Polk County School District on the national stage.
Hey, Amanda!
America, I'm Amaya Brandon, your kid correspondent. Today's the big game, and I'm going to start heading over to the stadium. See you there. My first stop was a TikTok tailgate. Well, it was a party in the USA with Miley Cyrus and thousands of vaccinated healthcare workers. I got a fist bump from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. He's a big deal. It saw the Lombardi Trophy. Wow. Y'all know who's gonna be holding this thing up? The Bucks, definitely. After watching the Weeknd walk out at halftime, I got to kick off the third quarter.
Are you ready to get this going for the second half?
And toss the game ball to former Bucks linebacker Cam Lynch. Nailed it.
Yeah! All right, Amaya. You know, you definitely nailed it, like you said, as the kid correspondent for us here on Good Morning America. So I'm curious, any interest at all at maybe doing this when you grow up for a living?
Yeah, I definitely might want to be a news reporter for Good Morning America. And Robin, I want to be in your position when I grow up.
Oh, you can bring it. I would love for you to be in this position, and you're well on your way. You're doing a great job.
Her personality, oh my gosh, you just made us all, we're all warmed up now here in the studio. Thank you so much, Amaya. Great job. Thank you for being our correspondent. You can come back anytime, all right?
And thank you for letting me keep my job for just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, Amaya. Just a little bit. Okay.
So, Amaya, who did you bring with you today? Come on up.
I brought my Uncle Brian, my Aunt Michelle, and my sister Jayla.
Do you want to share anything from your week at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, of course. So I got to interview Gronkowski, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes, and got to do some fun dances with the cheerleaders.
Oh, how awesome.
Great job, Amaya. We are so proud of you.
Thank you.
So on behalf of the Polk County Public Schools and Code Academy, we'd like to present you with this certificate, this plaque, and this pen.
Oh, wow.
We are so proud of you. You did a great job.
Thank you.
If I can get it out of the...
Wow. Thank you so much, and I just want to say thank you to Marissa Green, and thank you for all my teachers at school and Code Academy, and all my friends for cheering me on while I was on Super Bowl.
What an awesome young lady. Let's give her a nice another round of applause.
And Amaya, thank you for representing Polk County Public Schools and your family and community. What an awesome job. I do believe she's going to be one of those talk show hosts.
You bet.
She's going to take their job.
Yeah. Okay, before you leave, Amaya and I, if you want to put your plaque down, we have a special surprise. Are y'all ready for a cool surprise? Marissa Green, would you please come up to the podium? I did say it was a surprise. Come on up here, let's go. We don't have all night. Marissa Green celebrated a birthday yesterday, so Amaya and I thought it would be kind of nice if all of us joined together and wished Miss Green a very happy birthday. Are we ready on three? Mr. Allen, are you ready to lead us?
Indeed.
All righty. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marissa. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah!
Thank you so much.
And thank you
happy
too,
birthday,
Marissa.
dear Marissa. We love you.
That concludes our recognitions for today.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Bird. The next item on our agenda is our public comments. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to come forward to speak on an item on the agenda except for the public hearing? There'll be a time for that later. If so, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Board of Supervisors, Superintendent, my name is Lewis Ham. I am a father of 4. I've just moved to Florida about a year ago. I work for a company called Cisco Systems. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Cisco before. We are probably one of the world's largest network companies that is out there. The reason for my participation in tonight's meeting is really around just a staggering event. Recently, we responded to a E-rate bid for a large technology refresh of your network systems, what connects all the computers together. The reason why I showed up is twofold. First and foremost, Cisco and our partner NetSync were obstructed from even participating in the bid. It was based on information that wasn't accurate, that was dated and biased. The second thing is the delta. I've won deals, I've lost deals, and I gotta tell you, 100% delta in pricing between Cisco and our competitors is never seen. I've been in this business for 30 years, and we now have a bid that meets your specs, that will deliver superior performance over its life cycle, and the cost delta is $1 million. I have got to imagine that the district could use $1 million to buy Wi-Fi hotspots for underfunded, could buy new notebooks. They could do a significant amount more for that technology than just spend it erroneously. Secondarily, the customers. For those of you who haven't heard of Cisco before, if you look around you, Cisco Systems is everywhere. Every single school district that borders Polk County is either a partial or full Cisco customer. Polk County itself is a Cisco customer. Southeastern University, on and on and on. The technology was built and measured to spec. We just didn't get a fair shot at it based on personal bias. I personally think $1 million delta for personal bias is a significant amount too much. For statistics, typically we have a 10 to 20% price delta between a Cisco and an HP Aruba bid. This bid goes way beyond that. Technology has its own jargon, comes with megahertz and gigabits and gigawatts. IT can throw out some story to you, but I'll tell you, we built spec to spec to meet what IT needed. The challenge was the name on the box. And again, for a $1 million delta, I would hope you would look at that, dig into it a little deeper before you fund it. To end, there's 3 ways I think this can go. One is you do nothing. Just cash the $1 million and move on. The second thing is you can dig in deeper and you can find out why IT came up or disqualified us and go from there. The third thing is you push IT to reverse that bid, to take a deeper look at it and to give Cisco bid an opportunity to even compete. It's $1 million delta. I hope you guys will at least take that into consideration. I really appreciate the time. I wish we could have met on better circumstances.
Thank you. Now, this is the time where we talk about items on the agenda. Is this on the agenda?
Section 9, or item 9.
Item number 9.
Item number 9.
Okay.
It's got a subsection.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I just want to be sure.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the time. Superintendent, good luck, Godspeed, and may the future be good for you and board of directors. Appreciate your commitment to the student, staff, and faculty of the district. I really do. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything to discuss that is on the agenda, not on the public hearing tonight? Okay, then we will continue. Board members, now we need to approve 2 sets of minutes. The first set of minutes is for the January 26, 2021 school board meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the January 26, 2021 school board meeting minutes as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The second set of minutes is for the January 26th, 2021 work session. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the January 26th, 2021 work session minutes as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The next item today is approval of the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the February 23rd, 2021 consent agenda items as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Wilson.
Madam Superintendent, are you familiar with that contract or no?
That was one of the ones I believe there was discussion on during my absence with the team. Mr. Bridges, I don't know if that was the one that you were in a meeting with?
No, my understanding was that the purchasing department had received correspondence from this individual objecting to an award, but that the individual was, first off, not a proper party to bring a protest, second, that no protest was timely, and the third, there were no compliance with the formal requirements of Florida law to bring a protest.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Our next area is our new administrator announcements. Mrs. Byrd, do we have some announcements today?
We do. We have two that come before you this evening. I am pleased to recommend the appointment of Monica Crosswaith, Assistant Principal, Dundee Elementary. Ms. Crosswaith was serving as a teacher at Dundee Elementary since August 2012. She attended the University of South Florida and earned a bachelor's degree in elementary education. She went on to earn her master's degree in educational leadership at Florida Southern College. So congratulations to Ms. Crosswaith at Dundee Elementary.
And I just want to note that her principal is here today in support of her. Did you want to say a few words? Dr. Tatum, please come on up. I like the sound of Dr. Tatum.
Thank you, I do as well. Thank you. It's an honor and pleasure to speak before you this evening. I would just like to say thank you to Mrs. Byrd and to the school board for accepting our recommendation on behalf of the interview team, to those that are on the interview team, and of course to Mrs. Crosswaith. She's worked very hard. I'm very proud of her, and she is very excited as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'm pleased to recommend the appointment of Denise Santos, Director of Behavior and Mental Health Learning Support. Ms. Santos was serving as a behavior specialist at Learning Support since November 2019. She attended the Nova Southeastern University and earned a bachelor's degree of science, exceptional student education. Then she went on to earn her master's degree of education in educational leadership at North Central University. Congratulations to Ms. Santos. And I don't know if she's in the audience, but she is not. Okay. Well, congratulations to her, and she will be an excellent addition to that team over there to help them. That concludes our new administrators for this evening.
Awesome. Okay, next we come to our regular agenda, board members. Under item number 37, we have our superintendent search update. And I just want to start by saying that I wanted to thank, and I know there's several of you in the room tonight and several of you attended the work session today, how much we appreciated the 36-member of our Polk County Citizen Screening Committee. These folks worked tirelessly and reviewed not one, not two, but 52 And I repeat, 52 candidate applications for the superintendent of schools. And I just want to say thank you. Your time and talent was so greatly appreciated. And board members, the committee has presented us with 7 semifinalists for our review. And those finalists are as follows: Dr. Harold R. Border, Dr. Jennifer Cupid McCoy, Dr. James P. McIntyre, Michael J. Ramirez, Frederick R. Hyde, Dr. T. Nakia Towns, and Dr. Antoine L. Hickman. So, board members, the chair will now entertain a motion to accept the Citizens Screening Committee's candidate recommendations, dissolving the committee, and thereby releasing the committee members from the Sunshine Law requirements. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. 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 All those opposed, like sign. The motion carries unanimously. And once again, thank you to the committee members, and I know several of you are here, and at the end of the meeting, we do have a public comment, and you're welcome to come up and tell us how the process went. We'd be interested to hear about that. Next item is item 38, reappointments to the Sales Tax Oversight Committee. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the reappointment of the following community members to serve on the Sales Tax Oversight Committee: Lyle Phillipson, Robert Kincart, Eddie Twyford, Dylan Daniels, Josephine Miller, and Dr. Darlene Brunner. Do I have a motion and a second?
Motion. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ms. Fields.
I would just like to thank all of the members of the Sales Tax Oversight Committee for their diligence and their hard work in ensuring that the sales tax monies that we are receiving are being spent wisely, and we can't thank them enough for their service.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. The motion carries unanimously. The next item is number 39, new appointments to the Sales Tax Oversight Committee. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the appointment of the following community members to serve on the Sales Tax Oversight Committee: Davenport City Commissioner Jeremy Clark, Brittany Sandoval Soto, Trish Pfeiffer, Brian Yates, and Larry Mitchell. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none. Oh, Ms. Reynolds?
Sorry, I just wanted to say a little bit about my nominee. Brian Yates is a commissioner in Winter Haven, and he actually approached me about 2 weeks before we were called for nominees because he had questions about how we determined whether or not they could build a facility or build communities in Winter Haven and the concurrency with school districts. So the lesson you should know is if you ask me a question about something we have a committee for, I will appoint you to it the next week if I have the opportunity. But I'm very excited for him to be on this committee. He and I had a great meeting with Angela a couple weeks ago about concurrency and how that comes in with our sales tax dollars and making sure that we're building schools where they need to be, but also that there's room for that there's room for the community to go to the schools in their area. So it was a great conversation, and I know he's going to do great things on the committee. So, and he wanted to be here tonight, but apparently PPP loans were changed a couple hours ago, so he's working late. But so just thank you to Brian for his service.
All right. Anyone else? Ms. Fortney.
Thank you. Yes, similar to what Ms. Reynolds just said, Trish Pfeiffer actually reached out to me pre-COVID, and we met down in facilities, and Ms. Usher gave us a highlight tour that was eye-opening, and she is very involved and wants to make sure that concurrency piece is there and that we're prepared for the future. And I appreciate all those that serve on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fortney. And I, too, have two individuals from the northeast section of the county, Commissioner Jeremy Clark and Brittany Sandoval Soto, and I'm very excited. He represents, obviously, the city of Davenport and the Davenport community, and Ms. Sandoval Soto represents the city of Lake Hamilton, so we're very excited to have them on board as well.
I guess I might as well say something.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Because I don't want Larry to kill me. I think a lot of people know Larry Mitchell. He's very involved in the community. He runs a nonprofit, and he is involved with the Central Florida Business Diversity Council. He's the president of that council, and he already has a genuine interest in our community, and he's eager to serve. We're happy to have him on the Sales Tax Oversight Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. Okay, so at this time, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries, and congratulations to everyone. Under Facilities and Operations, General Items, Property Management, we have item number 40, demolition of a house in Alturas. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the demolition of the home located at 125 Magnolia Avenue in Alturas, Florida. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. The next item, number 41, is demolition of portable number 99-974 in Alturas. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the demolition of portable 99-974 located at Alturas Elementary School in Alturas, Florida. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Next item is number 42, demolition of house in Lakeland. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the demolition of the home located at 5804 Yates Road in Lakeland, Florida. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. The next item under Teaching and Learning General is item number 43, the naming of the weightlifting building at Haines City High School in honor of Coach Olin G. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to name the weightlifting building at Haines City High School the Coach Olin G. Weightlifting Building. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. And at this time, I would like to call Principal Adam Lane to come forward. And is Ms. Mountsie here? Yep, from the Robin Wegman Against All Odds Foundation. I'd love to have you all come and say a few words before the board takes a vote. Welcome.
Hello and good evening. Thank you for having us here tonight. My name's Adam Lane. I serve as principal at Haines City High School and Haines City International Baccalaureate. So to the board and Superintendent Byrd and all of you in attendance, it's an honor to be before you for this proposal. And I'm here to introduce Tracy Mountsie, as she is the Senior Director of the Robin Nabel Wegman Against All Odds Scholarship Foundation. And this foundation has provided services for multiple schools across Polk County Public Schools and has awarded multiple scholarships to many of our students throughout the county. And she approached me with a proposal and I provided her with a platform to speak and present at our October Haines City High School SAC meeting. And then in November, the SAC meeting voted and approved her proposal, which brings us here tonight. So Tracy would like to share a few words about the Haines City High School retiree and also about the process. So board, I present to you Tracy Monsey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Principal Lane. Thank you so much, Chairman Cunningham, board members, Superintendent Byrd. I thank you all so very much. Just a real quick background. The Robin Nabel Wagman AAO Scholarship Foundation was created in memory of my sister, Robin Wagman, known to, though, everyone who knows and loves her as Peanut. Peanut worked for 3 decades at Haines City High School, coaching track and field, coaching volleyball, taking them to district, county, and so forth and so on, all the fantastic things that she did. Unfortunately, she lost her battle with cancer. This month will be 10 years, and that is heartbreaking to all of us and unbelievable that she's been gone that long. But through the foundation, we've been able to carry her legacy on by giving scholarships to student athletes who suffered an obstacle. And at that point, we've given over $100,000 away, about 56 scholarships in that 10-year time. So we're very proud of that. But tonight we're here about Coach G. And I don't know if you know Coach G personally, but he is quite a figure and quite a character. He is retiring after 37 and a half years. But we wanted to acknowledge him through the foundation because he was truly Peanut's keeper in her days. She was so dedicated. She literally fought cancer every day for 5 years, but she was there coaching volleyball. We'd have to take her to softball games at night after chemo. I mean, she was there. But she was, you can imagine, ravaged by the disease, and he was her keeper. And nobody messed with her, and by golly, don't you dare think about it, because he had her back. And that's so true. That's just who Coach G is. He is a big, gruff guy, but he's really and truly a big teddy bear. And he was our sister's keeper. My children went to Haines City High School and graduated. My son played football for him, and he was a tough guy, but I can promise you he taught a lot of lessons that my son still today is learning from. So this is so well deserved. We wanted to recognize him, to have a legacy for him as well at Haines City High School, because he's dedicated so much blood, sweat, and tears to the school in general, but definitely to the weightlifting room. So many, many thanks to you for this opportunity, for this acceptance of our offer. We will be installing a plaque. We're going to have a celebration on March 11th to recognize Coach G. It's kind of a surprise. I don't know. I'm sure he's not watching the meeting, so hopefully he's not going to know about it. But we're trying to keep it a surprise as much as we can. But we're very, very thankful to you all. Very thankful to Principal Lane for accommodating us in the Haines City SAC. We knew it was an odd request, and many thanks to Chairman Cunningham. She facilitated this and led us down this way. So thank you so very much. We look forward to much continued success for Polk County Schools. And Ms. Byrd, we're sure going to miss you. Sorry, I can't ever let a moment go without saying that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Mounsey. Thank you, Principal Lane. And board members, any further discussion? If not, I'd like to, let's take a vote. All those in favor of naming the weightlifting building at Haines City High School after Coach G, please signify by saying aye. 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 All those opposed, like sign. And the motion carries unanimously. Yay. Okay, now next we come to our public hearing. I would like to recess the school board meeting and open up the public hearing. At this time, I would like to call to order the public hearing for February 23, 2021 to order. Item number 44 is to recommend boundaries for Willow Oak School in Mulberry. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to come forward to address this item on our public hearing agenda today? This is regarding the boundary for Willow Oak School in Mulberry. If so, please come forward now. State your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the board. Is there anyone? Okay, seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the adoption of the proposed zoning for the new Willow Oak School and the revised boundaries for R. Bruce Wagner Elementary, Kingsford Elementary, Purcell Elementary, and James Sykes Elementary. Do I have a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Seeing none, let's call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. And I do believe, for anyone interested in the audience, there are maps in the very back of the room if you would like to look at those after the meeting. Our next item is item 45, policy updates recommended by staff. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to come forward to address item number 45 on our public hearing agenda today? If so, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to address the board. Ms. Yoakum.
Stephanie Yoakum, 730 East Davison Street, Bartow, Florida, on behalf of Polk Education Association. This policy is long overdue. We are very excited that we were able to agree for our units for this terminal pay to line up with Florida statute. While I'm very excited to be able to offer this to my folks, I agree with you 100%, Ms. Cunningham, after, hearing the discussion at the last work session and board meeting. Sometimes you get so tunnel visioned in who you represent that you just think automatically things apply to other people. But what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And I think that not applying the 100% and capping it at 50% for non-union employees, like we have people that are making $50,000 and less at the district office that aren't union. We have our administrators, directors all the way up. It's wrong. We should include non-union employees in the same language that our folks are getting and that the AFSCME folks are getting. It's just right. And so I hope that tonight or in future discussions that we can include our non-union folks in this terminal payout. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yoakum, and I'm going to have to say that I agree with you 100%. I'm obviously going to support it tonight regarding our teachers and paraprofessionals. But as we move forward, I hope that our staff, we can look at incorporating it to other individuals that service us in our communities to make it fair and equitable across the board. So thank you for bringing that up. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board on this item? No one else? Okay. Seeing none, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the recommended staff policy updates regarding sick leave, vacation leave, and employee benefits. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ms. Miller.
Sorry, I was waiting my turn patiently. I too agree with what was just stated from Ms. Yoakum. I've had several district people reach out to me to remind me that they don't have representation and how this would affect them in the long run. So 2 things. One of procedure, when these items are brought to us by staff, I would like to request that we get some kind of summary of how many people it will affect, and so we can look at the data of what we're doing, whether we have to look at doing a grandfathering system if we have to look at a cutoff date. I need to know how many people will be affected by that policy change. So I would like to have further conversation about those non-union folks later. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Anyone else? Mr. Allen?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think the equity is a big conversation that we need to address moving forward. I think reflecting on this, I would like to know financial impact, right? What's the numbers and how that will impact us long term. But even like from a qualitative standpoint, I was just reflecting on this, and does this policy speak to teachers that maybe would be transitioning to an admin position later in their career? And you think about if they're going to weigh that, if that jump's going to be beneficial to them or not, and would we lose out on maybe a teacher that would serve, a veteran teacher serving in that admin capacity because of this? I'm not sure. So I'm just wanting us to consider that qualitative side to this as well as we move forward in some of these discussions as well.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Anyone else? Ms. Fortney.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Cunningham. I totally agree with Ms. Miller and Ms. Yocum. The equity piece and you is very important to me. I've had numerous people reach out to me, and I found it hard to defend.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. This time, I would like to close the public hearing and reconvene the school board meeting. The next item on our agenda is our superintendent's report. Mrs. Byrd, do you have an update for us today?
I do. The next work session and board meeting will be held on March 9th, 2021. The work session will begin at 12:30 p.m. and the board meeting will begin at 5 p.m. Both meetings will be held at Jim Miles Professional Development Center located here, 5204 U.S. Highway 98 South in Lakeland. And Madam Chair, I might want to throw a disclaimer in there that we may have to change that time depending on the conversation you had, but we will update our calendar and we will let the board know well in advance.
Perfect.
That concludes my announcements for this evening.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent, and I did mention that in work session that we would be getting back to the board and to everyone regarding the exact time so that we make sure we have enough time to take care of our normally agended items for work session and then include the superintendent search as well. So thank you. Next, we have our attorney's report, which will be given by Mr. Bridges.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Single item, request authority to advertise a public hearing to be held on March 9, 2021, during the regularly scheduled school board meeting for the Bella Cita School Zone presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the request to advertise a public hearing to be held on March 9th, 2021, during the regularly scheduled board meeting for Bella Cita's school zone presentation. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Bridges. Next, we would have our auditor's report, but I don't believe there's a report this evening. Is that correct?
That's correct. No report this evening. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Matthews. We appreciate that. Okay, next we come to our board member reports, and I will begin tonight with Mr. Allen.
All right, I've got quite a few, so sorry, I'll try to keep them quick. I wanted to circle back to work session as well. I know we ran out of time, so I just had a couple things there. Just reflecting back, I know my time on the board has been limited, but just wanted to follow up on the elopement process and make sure that we keep that conversation moving forward. And then, on top of that, just looking forward, and this is from a public standpoint, we have the controlled open enrollment. That's going to be opening up next month, I believe, April, for residents in the county, and then the following month for individuals outside the county. Last year, we had about a 2% engagement in this option, so I'd like to hear some possibilities moving forward to expand the time frame specifically for individuals that are moving into our area as we get closer to a school start date. And then lastly, in regards to just some of those work session dialogue, I think we're going to see more applications regarding virtual learning in days ahead, and I think that we as a board should start to get ahead of that a little bit more and maybe considering some policies as it relates to this new learning environment. And then I just want to transition to just some comments here. Just want to say thanks to Mr. Alan Black from McKeel Academy of Technology for the invite. Thanks to Senior Miss Sophia Nichols for a great campus tour. It's encouraging to see the work and the planning at so many different levels around our district. Also, huge congrats to the Polk County Youth Fair winners. I had the privilege to spend some time with former ag teacher David Bird. I have very vivid memories of my brother showing his pig in that arena in Bartow back in the 80s as a Bartow High student. And then along with that, thanks to Citrus Connection Executive Director Tom Phillips. He's hosted me recently, and it sounds like they're trying to recruit some of you. So look for that. Maybe some acting. I was thinking Miss Miller to do some acting with Citrus Connection coming up. But, you know, I teach college students, and we travel internationally. It's amazing to me how many students have never used public transit when I go internationally with them. And then, you know, reflecting back to my time in Bartow growing up, I never really traveled internationally until late 20s or mid-20s. So, you know, I'm a big proponent of our COLTS program, hearing about that and the option for public transit for our students. That's pretty exciting. So I would like to keep that conversation moving forward as well. Along with that, I just want to say, you know, thanks to my fellow board members for supporting me on that finance trip with the Florida School Board Association. It was humbling to sit in a room with around 80 newly elected school board members from around the state, and that experience will definitely continue to shape my time on the board, so I appreciate that. Again, just keeping this going here, I had a chance to give an update at our Lakeland business community this past week. Thanks to James Ring, Ryan Reese for their invitation. Our community is so excited to carry the legacy of our Superintendent Bird. So I really appreciate what you've instilled in our district. So, and we even heard that tonight here. So thanks to Superintendent Bird for the great work you've done, and thanks to the Florida School Board Association, the Community Screening Committee, for the huge amount of time and commitment to that search. I was just quantifying briefly. I think it was about 1,000 pages of applicant content that they sifted through. Pretty amazing, so appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Allen. Ms. Miller?
Oh, we're going down the row, not in numerical order.
Sorry.
That's fine. No, it's totally fine. Luckily, I'm prepared. So I also attended the FSBA Finance Forum. I wasn't available to go the first year, and then COVID, so I went this year. And if you watch the work session today, I just want to make a point. At that conference of a group of about 80, they asked, where's Polk County, when they got to the part about funding and charter schools and how that worked. And of course, you wave from the back. And they were very proud to say how long we've had charter, because Polk County there were visionaries here about school choice and our magnet programs, our choice programs, and our charter. The difference, I had to explain quickly, is that we have grown local controlled charters. We have people that cared about their community far before this was a thing to do or get into the business of, and they created local boards, they took control, and they have charter schools that have survived. McKeel is the one that's probably been around the longest, other than Achievement Academy, that is still in business from 1997 when this all kind of started happening. And I need our community to be engaged enough to know, yes, we welcome choice. We want to work for e-learning, for not just e-learning, but learning communities of all types. But our constituents are first. People that live here and pay tax dollars in this county are who needs to make the choices about what's happening with students. So I appreciate the service charters, the management companies that are coming in and being collaborative and want to have that conversation. But those that are not and are not being transparent in their practices, that is where the community needs to pay attention, because it will affect you. Call your friends in South Florida and Broward County and ask them how many empty public school buildings they have. There is an issue there that I don't think the public pays attention to, because when they just hear the word charter and choice, they lump it all together. We have some great charter schools in Polk County. We've done a lot of work here, and we need to continue that same effort. So when FSBA made that, I appreciated them talking about that openly and recognizing Polk for their vision and the visionaries that were here in the late 90s who decided to really lead the way in choice. And Polk has led the way in the entire state in choice, and that's public record. I would hope people would look into that. I want to talk a little bit about FFA at my Lake Gibson. You have a couple of days left to buy beautiful hydrangea and Easter lilies to support the FFA there. I rely on them because I do not have a green thumb, and I rely on them to raise beautiful florals for me to purchase. So reach out to Lake Gibson if you're in the area. You can pay and pick up, and they'll be ready for Easter. So that's very important. I want to mention another school. My other high school is Auburndale High School, and I know people know this already, but they lost a great man at Auburndale, and the whole city turned out to honor him. And I know the superintendent was there, and a lot of staff was there, but Paul Green not only gave me rides on the golf cart when I got to school and didn't want to walk that entire campus, he was my sister's neighbor for a while, and every conversation was about kids. And for somebody who dedicated 38 years of their life to retire and miss children enough to come back is somebody that we should honor. So I'm assuming down the line, after we have the work sessions, I guarantee we'll have something named for Coach Green, and that would be in his honor, and the community would greatly support that. I mean, everybody turned out. State Farm turned green that day. My sister's a State Farm agent. I know that never happens. That is not their colors. But everybody wore green for Coach Green. That entire city changed because of the influence that he had over so many. So I really want to tell the community that we're there for them, and people for generations will continue to come up to me and tell me Coach Green's stories, and his family needs to know how much he was supported for all his work. And the last thing is I was happy to join a Black History Month celebration. I want to thank Milady Snively, who is your Apple Bistro manager. Her and Marissa Green and Marcus Wright, they put on a great program. The theme was soul food, when I was happy to go try it out. And there was music, and there was giveaways and trivia, and it really was a great event for the staff, just to have a place to come and fellowship for a little while and to celebrate and learn something new that day on Friday. So I just want to give a shout out to Miladies. I hope I say her first name right, but she was amazing, and I appreciate what she does with the Apple Bistro to include everybody in the building. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Miller. Ms. Fortney?
Okay. First, I want to encourage folks to watch the work session. It was very important, lots of discussion. I, too, was able to attend some Black History Month virtual events by invitation of former students. Good discussion, good conversation, good trouble. The focus on excellence that PR did is just amazing, and I also love their public service announcement that I got to see on VAM. I think that education to the public on what really happens with the VAM scam is so important. I wanted to give a special shout out to Marissa Green. A little birdie told me that she was actually the person who secured the Teacher of the Year car, and I wanted to thank her. I want to wish all the folks that are retiring a happy retirement. We had quite a few. Administrators, food service, drivers, you name it. It's well earned. It appears that the board received a pretty potent letter. It looks like everybody got it from one of our teachers. And I was going to read it, but I'll just summarize it. Basically, she feels, and like a lot of people, that it's time to put forth some fair compensation to our hardworking frontline workers, which I thank every day, and our administrators and our support staff. That's teachers that are in the classroom, out of the classroom, our ESPs, everybody, and especially those doing the blended learning model. They all deserve monetary compensation. Remember to reach out to your legislators, and let's try to get rid of this test and punish. We need to be persistent, public, and pressure them to stop labeling our schools, students, and staff as failures. And I do want to request from facilities some sort of ventilation update from COVID, if at all possible. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fortney. Mr. Wilson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to congratulate Superintendent Byrd. This past week, she received, I guess it's an award from Congressman Soto for her contributions to our community and for her leadership to our school district. And this was part of Black History Month, but he has or will read her name on the floor of Congress. That will become part of the congressional record, and as I understand it, will become part of our National Archives in perpetuity. I think that is so cool, and I just want to say congratulations, and it's very well deserved. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Ms. Reynolds.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to add to Mr. Wilson's that Vincent Miller, our former Teacher of the Year, was also one of the selections for Congressman Soto to recognize for Black History Month, in addition to Superintendent Byrd. So congratulations to you both. I'm going to try and keep it short because I know there's a really important basketball playoff game between Winter Haven and Bartow starting soon, but there's also a lot of great things happening in our district. A few weeks ago, I got to be a judge for Act Fest, which is the theater. Basically, their Super Bowl is getting to go and participate in Act Fest, which is solos, duets, some musical theater, some straight theater, monologues. There was also playwriting, which was really, really interesting. We had one from Winter Haven High School that I am pretty sure is going to be the sequel to Designated Survivor. It was really well done, and I can't wait to watch the entire series. But so that was a lot of fun, and the kids did a great job. With theater, you get a little bit scared when masks are involved, especially at the high school age, because they sometimes are hard to understand, but these kids nailed it. I could understand every word they were saying. I could see their emotions through their body language. They did an awesome job. With COVID, obviously, we've had lots of quarantines happening, and I just want to give a shout out to all of our district staff and our school-based staff who has been covering classes for the past several months. I got to go help out at Ridge a couple weeks ago while they were short teachers, and when they say it takes a village, it does. And I realize that a lot of our staff are giving up their assigned duties to make sure that students have someone in front of them, and I just want to say thank you because it really is a huge lift, and our district has stepped up in big ways, especially over the last few weeks. Science fair, we had our elementary middle science fair last week, which was all done virtually. The kids did an incredible job presenting. I got to watch some of the awards, and watching them on Zoom, you can really see their faces when you've announced that they won, and it's just so fun to watch them realize that they get to go to states. So that was a great event. The Rodney Turner, a few weeks ago, or I guess a couple months ago now, dedicated a building to him, and that memorial service was last week. They had a beautiful ceremony, revealed the signage on the building, but the turnout of contractors was incredible. My brother is a contractor in Jacksonville, and when I was telling him about it, he's like, yeah, people in the construction industry don't always get along like that. But I think that's a true testament to who Rodney was, that he just made people get along, and we're all going to play together, and we're all going to do what's best for kids. And a lot of his colleagues talked about that, which I think is really important and a great memorial to him and tribute to him. This past weekend, Polk Vision had their first Know and Grow session, which I think has been talked about a little bit, but so they are trying to get digital technology and digital literacy into the hands of some of our parents. But obviously, childcare is an issue for our parents, so their solution was to also teach our kids about nutrition and healthy eating. So the first section was this weekend. They had one session going at Crystal Lake Elementary, one session going at Inwood Elementary. The turnout was smaller than expected for the first week, but it was also their first week. But they have parents that now know how to log on and turn a computer on, and they got their Polk portal passwords and are going to be able to go and check their kids' grades. So I just want to say thank you to Polk Vision, but also to all of the partners who have joined in with them to help both with the parents and the student sections. Last but not least, Harrison School of the Arts produced their own musical this year, and since we cannot do shows on the main stage, they decided to take it to the drive-in. So Tyler Campbell, who is a teacher at Lakeland and at Harrison, wrote the musical Winesburg, Ohio. And I will tell you, I got there and parked my car facing the small screen because that's where I expected to be. But oh no, Winesburg, Ohio bumped Grease and Footloose from the big screen because they had such a big turnout, which is huge. I mean, it's Grease and Footloose. So Winesburg, Ohio got to be on the big screen at the Silver Moon Drive-In, and we put, those other movies on the other screen. But if you did not get a chance to go, they are also going to have it on YouTube Live the first week in March, and you can buy tickets to see it then as well. It was a great job done by all of the students, and I lied. Last but not least, FSBA, the day in the legislature, is March 5th. If you are interested in that, I believe Susan sent out an email, but she can get you registered, and it's all virtual this year. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms.
Sarah Beth,
Reynolds.
yes, I forgot the history fair too. Don't forget. We did
Yes,
science
and the
fair
history fair. I had the wrong login time for the history fair, so I missed that one.
Well,
But it
Auburn
also
High School
happened.
just whooped them. It was awesome.
Thank you, Ms. Fortney, as well. Ms. Fields.
I think everybody's covered everything that I was going to cover, and that's good. But I wanted to especially commend Superintendent Byrd. What an amazing woman, what an amazing person Ms. Byrd is. It does not yet appear how amazing Ms. Byrd is, but we will understand it better by and by. Black History Month is in February, and we're rounding it out with such great recognition to a woman who's very deserving. So congratulations, Ms. Byrd. Again, you're just amazing. And Coach Paul Green, Ms. Miller referenced him. I knew him in a different perspective. He and I attended the same church in Auburndale. And he was definitely a man of God, a great example, not just for the youth, but for the adults as well. And he's going to be sorely missed by the Auburndale community. My brother was the pastor who eulogized him on Saturday, and he was really touched by the life that Coach Green led. And I wanted to thank the Citizen Screening Committee. They did an amazing job. They worked hard, and they brought some very good possibilities before us to consider. So I want to thank all of them for their hard work. I know there was a lot of work. Reading all those applications, Lord bless them, is all I can say. And so now it's up to us to do our work and to make sure that we review and we are prepared and that we make the best decision that we can for our school district so that the work that Ms. Byrd and others have done would not go in vain. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. And now I just have a few things, and we'll move on. I did want to report that our superintendent search is progressing well. The official advertisements for our superintendent of schools ended on January 31st of this year. And I'm happy to report that we received a total of 52 applications, 52 folks for our superintendent of Polk County Public Schools. I do believe this is one of the highest number of applicants ever received for a superintendent's position in the state of Florida. In the fall, the board identified 36 individuals to serve on our Citizen Screening Committee with representation from throughout Polk County. The Florida School Boards Association, which I will call FSBA going forward, facilitated the Citizens Committee meetings, and they met on 3 occasions right here at the Jim Miles Center. They worked hard and did their due diligence by reviewing all 52 candidates to help us narrow down the applicant pool. I would like to express once again, I've mentioned it this morning in work session, I've mentioned it during the board meeting, and I say it again, my sincere gratitude to each one of the members, because I know that it took time away from your families, away from your jobs, to do this for us, and it means the world to me personally. So I just want to thank each person of the Citizen Screening Committee for your gracious gift of time and talent to help our board. The committee came up with 7 semifinalists for our board to consider. Now, board members, it is upon each of us to review all the applicants and be prepared to discuss your finalist, semifinalist recommendations at our next work session and board meeting on March the 9th. I think we talked about this in work session as well. Just a reminder, FSBA will be returning that day and will be facilitating our discussion. Board members, you are welcome to add to the 7 list. You are welcome to subtract from the 7 list, because ultimately it will be our decision as a 7-member board who we want to advance to the next step in the search process. And to date, to be transparent, Susan was gracious enough to provide me the dollars that we have spent on the superintendent's search. To date is $4,041.84. And Mrs. Worthington will be providing this to the whole board on the Friday prior to our Tuesday meetings as we're going forward. So I think that'll be great to keep everybody apprised, because things are moving rather quickly. Also, board members, hopefully we were able to learn about board docs at our training session this morning. I know a lot of it didn't really pertain to how we're going to be individually using it, and I don't think we got a chance to get our hands on it and do it, but I do want to say that as we get our information and our passwords and our login information and create our passwords for board docs, if you continue to need some assistance in navigating board docs, Miss Wendy Winchester is absolutely, I think, the guru, if I can say that, of board docs. Yes, and I know she would be more than happy to help you out, because we are going live, do I understand that correctly, on March 9th for both work session and our board meeting. Also, just a reminder that all work sessions and board meetings will be live and will continue to be held here at the Jim Miles Center until further notice, and all safety protocols will remain in place. And at this time, I would like to recognize Chris Laney, who has been an incredible asset to our legal department. Chris is leaving us after 22 years of loyal and dedicated service to our school district. So I just want to say, Ms. Laney, I don't know if you're in the audience, and probably at this point, probably not. I just want to say thank you for all that you have done for the school board, and we wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. The next item on our agenda is public comments addressing items not on the agenda. And I have a list provided of folks that have signed up to speak. Please come forward as I call your name, and then state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes to speak. And first person is Mr. Justin Sharpless. If you'd like to come forward.
Thank you. First, a little confusion. Earlier, I thought I was supposed to speak because it was on the agenda, but it was just for the Superintendent Search Committee. First, I just want to say, do y'all mind if I just lower this?
Take it off. Okay. You're fine.
First, I just want to say thank you to Chairwoman Cunningham and the rest of you board members for allowing me to serve on that. It truly was a humbling experience, knowing that I might have a little bit of an impact, on where this could go. But more than it being a humbling experience, it was great to see the collaboration. There were 36 individuals from all over Polk County, and that was just really great for me to see. So first, I just want to thank you, okay? Not only for the Citizen Screening Committee, but also for appointing me on the Attendance Boundary Committee, another committee that I've really enjoyed being on. So, Board Member Wilson, thank you for taking my phone calls and being willing to actually put me on this committee. It's been great. But also, just to you all for allowing me to serve. It's real quick, wanted to tell you that we took painstaking amount of time to go through 52 applicants. It really was a lot of time. But I can tell you this, I'm confident that we gave you 7 quality candidates, okay? And so if you want to honor our service, then accept those candidates that we put through. Don't subtract, don't add, candidates. That would be a way for, in my opinion, to honor that. But I have a minute left, so I want to do one more thing, okay, before I forget. This week, starting this past Saturday, was National FFA Week. And if you see my mask, it's about FFA, okay? The FFA is a career technical education organization, specifically for students in ag education, agriculture education. I'm a former ag teacher here in Polk County, middle school and high school. I teach agriculture now at the college level here in Polk County. And I can tell you, my FFA experience changed my life. I went into 10th grade, into an ag class, and joined FFA, and I had no career direction, and I left that year knowing what I wanted to do. So it is FFA week, so I encourage you to support your local FFA chapter, find out what they're doing, talk to them. Maybe next year we can have possibly a resolution about FFA week here, and just know that not every student is going to be in the arts, not every student is going to be athletic, but career technical education really does impact all of our students that are enrolled in it. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next we have Mr. Brown, Mr. Don Brown.
Time it is. Okay, good evening once again, and glad to come back. I'm coming to you because of frustration and bias on my part. I'm frustrated because we are losing our superintendent. That frustrates me. It was one of the reasons I stopped coming to meetings at all, because I saw what was going on. I'm biased because I serve on the SAC committee of Haines City High School. And I did not come up when Mr. Lane was here purposely because I wanted him to do what he had to do. I'm concerned that no one that's homegrown working in this district was even looked at in a positive way and even concluded in the mix, whether they were selected finally or not. And if we got aspiring leaders in this district, to me, we should have given them the opportunity to go through the process of seeing what it really takes to become a superintendent. And when I look at Haines City High School principal, whom I wrote a reference letter for, he has about 2,500 plus students there. Just about 48, 49% of all the school districts don't have 2,500 students. So he brings something to the table. Whether he was selected or not, you should consider looking at him. And then there was another individual, Dr. Warner, but it was from works for this district, just going through the process in case he wanted to go someplace else. Would it enable him to become a better person? We need to look at that. And I'm asking, which I'm pleading to include our people, because people are watching in this district. We talk about aspiring leaders, and when I look at what's happening, it looks like we have a glass ceiling. Give them the opportunity to showcase what they have to offer. Now, I know that there's some that feel that because we had this wonderful committee, that's fine. But to limit that to what they have suggested, to me, is morally wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Next is Miss Lisa Burke. Yes, she's still here. If you'll come on down. And once again, please give your name, address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name's Lisa Burke. I live at 3100 Fast Route Trail, Lake Wells, Florida. First thing I want to do, I represent ASME. I'm the president, but I want to say congratulations to you on all the exciting things going on. I want to thank all the board members for your time tonight and the opportunity to put it out there for that committee and the community to get involved in the superintendent search. Makes a new definition of bedtime and nighttime reading in our homework. That was a lot. And it did take a lot of time and investment to check into all the people, and because it is a community that we have that is the largest county, all the schools, it's family. Polk County is family. Everybody knows everybody, technically, so to speak. Not really, but we're close. Bus drivers ask me, PEA's family. And that's the thing. It's a big thing. And if you're going to do that, you should be involved in your community. You should live in your community. And the other thing I wanted to say is on the policy with the sick leave. Thank you for that, because it should be. And the main thing is yes, when it comes down to it, to pay out 100%, the money is it. Because if you're going to leave, why would you leave with 50%? You know, you should deserve the 100. You earned that. And the other thing I'd like to do is the public relations video tonight. That was great. Everybody needs recognized. Custodians, maintenance, painters, carpenters, electricians, they get overlooked. They don't get the recognition. Custodians, they have to do 24,000 square feet and clean that a day. A lot of them do over that because we're short employees. Why are we short employees? Because they leave for more money. They don't get the recognition. Parents, they complain about bus drivers. Of course, yes, we're late. We're covering. It's not explained that, well, we've now got more students and it's taking a little bit longer. We now have more stops. We've had to clean up puke, dog poo, a lot of other things that we've had to clean up. There's delays, but we need people that's going to have our back, and that's what you guys are for. You are to have our backs when those people complain about us. And I would really appreciate the recognition for all the ASME employees, all the non-union employees, because everybody deserves that when they get up and go to work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Burke. Ms. Yoakum.
Stephanie Yoakum, Lakeland, Florida. I'm actually speaking as an individual tonight, not on behalf of an organization. So the legislative session is upon us. Session starts next week, and it's very different this year. Pretty much the public is barred from going into the Capitol because of COVID protocols. So it is very hard sometimes to get in front of legislators. We have been working diligently. I've been talking with legislators for a while now, I think. I can't even keep track. We need your help. You know, as an educator, you know, I need your help. I need the community's help. There are some really good bills out there right now, and there are some really horrible bills out there right now. And so as a community, I urge us to stay engaged with what is going on in session because it does directly affect you. It affects this organization, and it affects our community at large. And so I wanted to bring up a few bill numbers that I am closely watching, and I hope that you will too here and at home. Senate Bill 886 and House Bill 359, their companions. That is the legislation that would remove the high-stakes testing part of testing this year. And I know that that is part of your legislative platform. That's a big deal for our community at large, our students, our teachers, educators across the board. We should be held harmless for all the ridiculousness of this year. That's really all I can say with that. So I urge people to support those bills. And since I am running out of time, because I could talk about this for a very long time with you, Senate Bill 48 is a bad, bad bill. It is voucher expansion. And we're not talking the charter schools that we even heard at the work session. We're talking about money, public dollars, going to unaccountable private schools that don't have to report things back to the taxpayers on how our money is being spent, like we do. It's deplorable that this even keeps coming up every year. I urge our community to become educated on what this voucher bill would do to our community and statewide, and call your legislators, call your senators, call your House of Representatives. This is a bad bill that we need to make our delegation aware of that we do not support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Yocum. And last but not least, Mr. Bishop Mincy.
Sorry. When he finished.
That oversight. But tonight, I want to say Bishop Willie Mincy, True Holiness Tabernacle Church, and to all of you, the board members, to our wonderful superintendent, and to everybody in this audience tonight. Amen. God is good. Amen. And my thing is to all of you board members, you got a responsibility to all of us in Polk County and our children. And we came, as the brother said back there, and I've been everywhere they've been, except I think I didn't go to the district office when they had the students, but I've been everywhere they've been. I went through this search a little bit further than I went through other searches because it's a serious matter to me. I don't know about nobody else. It's serious to me. We are in trouble. The pandemic has us in greater trouble than we ever been in because of all of the things that are happening to our children and to families and everything that is going on. Teachers, everybody, we're in trouble. We are really in trouble. Y'all may not look at it maybe like I look at it, but I talked with the principals at schools that I'm a part of. I just asked about my SAC committee school this morning, about how many children are not coming, where they are, what's going on. It's serious. It's serious. This is serious. And who virtual and whatever there is and whatever. And we have numbers that are not like it once was. So we got to see the importance of our superintendent is fixing to leave us. So whatever y'all think about whoever you could have got out of Winter Haven or Pot or wherever you could have got them from, we got to have somebody that can take this load. It's going to hit a load. They got to get up on it and take this load because we cannot go backwards.
No.
We got to keep forward. We can't go backwards. We can't go back where we came from. We got to keep forging ahead because we have come too far to go backwards. And we got to make sure we get the right person, qualified person, not somebody thinking, trying to figure their way. You got to have somebody know the way. Because if you don't get somebody to know the way, you're going to have a problem and we're going to be in a mess worse than we were before we got to the place we are. So I appreciate our superintendent. She's been through much. Father-in-law and her father. But she have been strong and have held up, and her staff have done a wonderful job. Y'all may not want to give it to them. They have done a wonderful job. And I appreciate them to the highest for everything they have done to keep this district moving forward. So what you all got to do now, I'm going to be looking at you. And I'm going to tell you, you may not like me. I ain't here tell you, if you get the wrong, somebody gonna say, you messed up. And I ain't gonna promise you I'm gonna come out here and hang out with you either. I'm gonna leave you by yourself, because I'm praying, and the next thing I wanna say to y'all is this. I'm praying because we got this situation with the testing, and as we have talked, I've talked with some of the leaders, it would be good for the test, because we need to know where our children are. But I'm praying that the legislature and the DOE will see it is not necessary this round to punish our children because of this test. Neither our staff. I'm praying that prayer. So I'm holding up, and we're going to pray for this.
Thank you.
Look forward to getting the right man or woman to lead us forward.
Thank you, Bishop Mincy. And we will find that person. I am confident. Okay, our next order of business is adjournment. Board members, I'm so sorry. Ms. Fields wanted to make a comment.
Before, Ms. Cunningham, thank you for sharing about Chris Laney. I had no idea that Chris was leaving. And Chris has been with the school board longer than I've been on the school board, I believe. And it's unfortunate that we were not aware of that, so that we could have celebrated her and let her know how much we appreciate her effort. So I am requesting that in the future that we know in advance when situations like this occur, so that we can honor and celebrate our employees when they're getting ready to leave, especially those that have been close to the school board services. Please, ma'am. And I'm not saying that you didn't do, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, that would go out to staff, so. Okay, there being no further business, the meeting of the Polk County School Board is now adjourned.